6 participants in the class.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me formally welcome you to Cedron Nigeria Limited Training Batch 18. Sorry for the delays. We're trying to sort out one or two little things, and so many people have been calling me in this morning trying to join the class, and we're trying to get them on board. And despite all of that, you can see we still have just barely about 4 people in the class now. But we'll not continue to wait indefinitely. We started by posting on our platform, our training platform, the pre-lecture quiz. As we explained in the joining notes which we gave you, it's our tradition to start our lectures every day with a pre-lecture quiz. To start with a pre-lecture quiz, to test your knowledge of the subject we are trying to present. And at the end of the lectures also, we'll repeat the same quiz again to test your understanding of the presentation and what you have learned. That's one way of measuring the impact of our training before and after. It has benefited us substantially, so we'd like to keep to that strategy. Many people have also called repeatedly to ask for that they're having problems trying to hook up with the Zoom class. Where you are not able to do that, what we advise that you do, we're also posting a YouTube link so that you can also join us through the YouTube. That is also another avenue. So if you are not able to join us through the Zoom link, you can just copy the YouTube link and then you'll be able to view us there. And for those who are not able to, because maybe of their schedule, they have divided attention, at the end of the training, we normally post the slides, that's the PowerPoint slides, the hard copies on the training platform so that you are able to see what has been presented. And then of course the YouTube channel is also there for you to be able to go through at your own time. So that's basically for housekeeping. So now let's continue with the topic of the day. We'd like to start with the picture of this elderly gentleman on the screen with the young lady. And here he's whispering into our ears that if your salary is your only source of income, you are just one step away from poverty. So basically, it's this is an advice we also like to give in the course of this training, that every person who is working, employed either in the public sector or private sector, it's always very, very important that you have multiple sources of income. Okay, try to have a multiple source of income, because depending on only one source of income in a country like ours really is a challenge. Not only in a country like ours, really. When we have stories of people who are out of the country, they tell you they are doing 2-3 jobs at a time. They finish one and then move on to the other, all trying to build up on their income for them to be able to be comfortable and sustainable in meeting their bills. The same also applies here. We're all aware of the salary structure we have in the country, and then of course the fact that salaries are nothing to write home about. We have a new minimum wage now, but we know what the minimum wage is all about. Anayo is raising his hand. Is there any issue, Mr. Anayo, that you want addressed? So Anayo, you are raising your hand. Is there any issue you want to clarify quickly before we continue? If not, we'll normally go through half of the way before we now break for people to ask questions. But if you're having any challenges, please, you can go to our chat room. There's a chat room where you can be able to send in any comments you want to. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, go to the chat room and then make a comment, and then we'll be able to do something about it. You can still see a hand up. Go to the chat room if you are not able to comment. But if you want to comment, you can unmute your mic, and then so that we'll hear you out right away. Sana, are you having problems with connection, audio or anything? Go to the chat room, please, and then make your comment. All right, so like I was saying on the issue of the picture we have on our screen now, of course, we're aware of what's the constant refrain of our labor unions when they come complaining that their take-home pay cannot take them home. Of course, basically saying the same as what this gentleman is saying. The minimum wage is so minimal that it's not able to meet all our requirements. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, our income has been further depleted in such a way that the little gains we've made with respect to the minimum wage has virtually been eroded with the inflation that has come along with the COVID-19 pandemic. So the advice we like to give is that no matter what you do, if you are in any paid employment now, try to find another source of income. And this program, the AGSMEIS program, is one of the ways that people can be able to find another source of income and be able to augment what they earn in terms of monthly salary. Right. So let's, having said that, as a way of advice, so now let's go on to the main subject of our day. Let's see, it's not moving. And there's this, sorry, just a minute, let's sort out something on our screen. What keeps bringing it up? Mute. My video. Right. Sorry for the little break. We're trying to clear something on our network. All right. So this is the topic for the day: entrepreneurship and skills acquisition for AGSMEIS. Right. So basically, we'd like to start with this topic for each of our training session, for each of our batches, because it lays a foundation for the discussion for the rest of the week. The training that we give here is entrepreneurship training. So we have to lay the foundation by by coming to terms, breaking down the concept of entrepreneurship, and then the skills that you require for entrepreneurship, and then the AGSMEIS loan scheme. So entrepreneurship, all of you who are on this program today are in one form of entrepreneurship or the other. So we want to find out from you and then help you understand basically the concept of entrepreneurship, define what entrepreneurship is all about, who is an entrepreneur, what an entrepreneur does, and then of course the kind of skills you require for entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, like we like to say, is not a 100-meter dash. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. A marathon is a lifelong race, okay, which when you embark on, when you start on, it's something that you have to continue consistently until you are able to break out and break even, and then of course leave behind a legacy of a major corporation if you are consistent and persistent in that. Okay, so that's what entrepreneurship is all about. Then of course we'll break down the concept of AGSMEIS. I'm sure you have come across that term. Of course, for you to have applied for this program, of course you know that the AGSMEIS is the scheme behind the entire program that you are signing on for today. So we will now go ahead and look at what entrepreneurship is all about. This is our training objective. We start with the training objectives. First and foremost is understanding the AGSMEIS loan scheme. What is the AGSMEIS loan scheme? Okay, we'll break it down for you. We'll try to expose participants to the objectives, to the components and processes of achieving the goals of AGSMEIS. Okay, we'll try to understand the concept of entrepreneurship, as I just said. We'll break down what entrepreneurship is. We'll define entrepreneurship. We'll find out what an entrepreneur is all about, what an entrepreneur does, and then of course we'll try to expose participants to the skills required for entrepreneurship, and then of course to prepare participants for a life of entrepreneurship, because as I said, entrepreneurship is a lifelong project, not a short sprint. It's a marathon. Okay, so that's what we'll try to do. Then our training objectives. These are our training objectives. First, defining AGSMEIS, its objectives, its components, and processes of attaining its goals. Defining entrepreneurship, types of businesses and vocational skills, considerations before starting a business, hurdles in the path of starting a small business, and then sources of funding for small and medium enterprises. Okay. AGSMEIS, of course, we're all aware, is a scheme which was established by the CBN and commercial bankers. So we'll try to define it and break it down into and then the various types of businesses and vocations that we have, not only in Nigeria, but across board. Then considerations before starting a business. Before you start any business whatsoever, of course, you don't simply jump into that line of business. You don't because Mr. A is doing a particular business and you see that it's successful, and then you also decide, no, that's the route I have. You need to consider before you start a business. Don't simply take a cue from what Mr. A is doing and decide that that's the route you also have to go. Okay, you have to be very, very sure that, look, this business that you want to go into will be successful along these lines. Okay, then hurdles in the path of starting a small business. What are the hurdles in starting a small business? We need to know what the hurdles are. Okay, because anything you do in life. Sorry, Mr. Ademola Sanjo. Mr. Ademola Sanjo, please, can you off your camera, because we don't want people exposing their bodies for us. If you have to show yourself on the camera, then please wear something. If not, please, you can off your camera, okay? We don't want people exposing their bodies for us here. This is a public place. Please, if you can hear me, either off your camera or wear something, please. So Ademola Sanjo, if you can hear me. Thank you. All right, please, we need to be dressed. We're in a class, and we are in our different homes, different offices, and then of course we are seeing each other. So let's be properly dressed, okay? So that we don't go exposing ourselves. We don't want any of those kind of distractions. Thank you very much. So sources of funding for small and medium enterprises. What are the sources of funding for small and medium enterprises? Of course, one of those sources is why we are here on this program today. So we need to be able to break it down, see the other sources of funding for you to be able to access. Okay, all right. So let's start now by defining AGSMEIS. We'll not start by defining what AGSMEIS is. AGSMEIS is an acronym. Okay, an acronym is a word which you form with the first letters of words in another sentence. So for AGSMEIS, it stands for agribusiness.